Hello and welcome back to the JW Thoughts channel. My name is Wally and today we are looking at the 2023 Friday afternoon Exercise Patience Convention. And sorry, the intro is going to be a little bit boring today. No goofy, wacky characters. We got a lot to cover as far as racial, ethical, moral questions that are being asked, so we need to get right into it. But before we do, don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. And
Hello, Wally.
God, no.
I will always be a part of you.
Why do you always have to be a part of me? No, that's not a part of me. I'm not some crazy pyromaniac.
Yes.
Oh God, with the fire again. We're indoors this time. You can't light a fire. Stop that. That's dangerous. No, stop. What's wrong with you? No. Here, take this. If you want to deal with an arson in your house, get a spray bottle from the dollar store. This intro's so stupid. If you want to see bonus content, Patreon channel memberships, you guys know the drill. Let's run the intro.
Greenwood was a thriving black community in Tulsa, Oklahoma, with many professionals, including attorney and newspaper columnist Richard J. Hill, a zealous servant of Jehovah.
In May of 1921, Tulsa, Oklahoma became the site of one of the worst race massacres in United States history.
Hundreds of armed men invaded Greenwood. They beat and killed many black citizens. It was a massacre.
Arthur Klaus was another faithful brother there in Tulsa. When he heard about the violence, he became very concerned about his good friend, Richard Hill, who was living in Greenwood.
So Brother Klaus went to Brother Hill's home to check on him. But Brother Klaus found an armed neighbor protecting his home. He thought that Brother Klaus was another stranger coming there. Brother Klaus immediately identified himself.
He explained that he was a friend of Richard Hill's, and he was looking for him to try to help him. And that's when he was told that many of the black people in that area had been taken to the convention hall.
So Brother Klaus headed back into downtown Tulsa.
The National Guard had been called in and had placed General Barrett in charge, and he decided that no black person could leave the convention hall without a signed order. So Brother Klaus patiently waited to see the general and explained that he just wanted to help his friend. After Brother Klaus agreed to be responsible for the family, the general signed the order.
But then Brother Klaus had to walk through a mob of armed white men to get into the convention hall.
It happened to be the same location that just 2 nights before, Judge Rutherford had delivered the talk, "Millions Now Living Will Never Die."
But Brother Klaus courageously walked up to the guard, handed him the signed order, and was let in.
I actually read the Millions Now Living Will Never Die book and did a series of, I think, 5 or 6 videos on just things I found really interesting about that. So I'll put a link in the description, or you can just go to the playlist section on the channel and it should pop up there. But yeah, if you're interested in knowing a little bit more about some of the goofy, crazy things like the end of the preaching work, how they had to cover up 1914, the failed promise of 1925. It's all in those videos. But yeah, anyway, let's move on.
Now, the auditorium was filled with black people who must have been very puzzled to see a white man. But Brother Klaus calmly walked through the crowd, met Brother Hill and his family, and took them back to their home.
In the auditorium, Brother Klaus overheard people say, "Now look at that. They're the only religious group to go to the general and get a release for their people. You know, we're in the wrong religion, I'm thinking." Brother Klaus showed patience and discernment, and he was able to help a brother in danger.
And in his weekly newspaper column, Brother Hill continued to echo the message of Brother Rutherford's talk that God's kingdom is the solution to all of the world's problems, including mob violence.
Now let's look back to a Golden Age article. The Golden Age was what they had before the Awake, and it was produced by Watchtower. And let's just look at what they had to say about the origin of the black race. Question: is there anything in the Bible that reveals the origin of the Negro? Answer: it is generally believed that the curse which Noah pronounced upon Canaan was the origin of the black race. Certainly it is that when Noah said, "Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren," he pictured the future of the colored race. They have been and are a race of servants. But now, in the dawn of the 20th century, we are all coming to see this matter of service in its true light, and to find that the only real joy in life is in serving others, not bossing them. There is no servant in the world as good as a good colored servant, and the joy that he gets from rendering faithful service is one of the purest joys there is in the world. So not only does Watchtower not do anything, but they're also part of the problem. They are interpreting the story of Noah and the curse he put on one of his sons, and that being where the black race comes from. Like, God intended for them to be a race of servants. That is the exact opposite of helping or being on the right side of history. They land squarely on the wrong side of history. And to all of the people that they are just making this nonsense up and that actually followed that and listened to it, it's not just like, oh, you can track this to one person. No, this goes out to all of the Bible students or people that were reading their literature at the time. And I imagine when they read that, there would have been a significant amount of people that this hardened their racism. Well, I mean, God said it, so must be true, so it's okay for me to be a racist. It's absolutely revolting. And then obviously the funny thing is all of the promises, all of this is when the end will be promises that Rutherford was making at the time. None of those came true. So all of it was based on a lie. So when those people are like, man, we're in the wrong religion, I think not.
Brother Jean Mancoca is one of many of Jehovah's Witnesses in Angola who faced cruel persecution because of their faith. And during the decades of the 1940s until the 1970s, Brother Mancoca endured prison, penal colonies, and much torture, as well as separation from his family. Despite this, he never stopped strengthening himself and others. My father, Adao Agostinho, was arrested in the early 1970s. And in prison, who did he find? Brother Mancoca and other brothers who also had faced cruel persecution for a long time. Brother Mancoca was a mentor to my father, so every night he would go by Brother Mancoca's bed and ask him many questions about the Bible.
Now, I know I talk about a lot on this channel about how Watchtower never gives any humanitarian aid, or when they do, it's very, very little for how big of an organization they are, even if you compare that to other religious organizations of a similar size as them. But the thing with Watchtower is the only thing they do give them is something that causes more harm. And this is a perfect example. Because he was a Jehovah's Witness, now he's having to deal with getting tortured, put into prison, beaten. Like, life's already hard enough, and then they're just adding on these extra dangers. And like he said, he was isolated from his family. I don't know if it said he has kids or not. I can't remember. But like, think about the extra danger that they do. So it's not only that they don't do anything charitable, they also make it harder for people that are already going through a difficult situation. And after all of that, they have the chutzpah, the big old coconuts to say, and don't forget, even you need to donate. It's absolutely horrible.
Today, I cannot imagine what my life would be like without this inheritance that was passed down by those loyal brothers.
My father, Sylvester Simao, and brother João Mancoca served together on the Angola branch committee, but that was not where they met. When my father attended his first meeting as a Bible student, Brother Mancoca was conducting the Watchtower study. Suddenly, the meeting place was raided, and Brother Mancoca became concerned because a good number of those in attendance were Bible students, including my father. Brother Mancoca asked that they release the students, but that did not happen. They beat them up. They beat them up brutally, all the men that were there. In fact, my dad said he thought that he was going to die on that day because the beating was so brutal and he lost a lot of blood. In the face of this situation, Brother Mancoca was concerned. He said a sincere prayer for Jehovah to protect his sheep, and that was what happened. Jehovah protected them. My dad could see that Brother Mancoca was more concerned with them than he was with himself. Brother Mancoca also had the opportunity to help others to get to know the truth.
Well, it's by the sounds of it, even the Bible students that were there at the Kingdom Hall got their ass beat. So, how is it to be celebrated, or why is it a good thing that he helped other people get to know the truth? It sounds like it was a pretty dangerous situation. And remember, one of the things that would have been prevalent, at least in the minds, I think this was in the early 70s, was stay alive till 75, or even after that, the generation. Most of those witnesses that were around at that time that were older are not around anymore. So again, it's all based off of a lie, and here people are just having their entire lives ruined, both physically and obviously materially, all because of a stupid lie from some dudes in New York. It's really a shame.
And one of them is my uncle, Philip Cunha. He was in that jail as a political prisoner, and he learned the truth there. And as a result, 4 generations of our family today are Jehovah's Witnesses.
The situation of Brother Mancoca and other brothers who faced persecution here in Angola proves that with Jehovah's help, we can face persecution. When a person does not have patience, he cannot persevere because he's looking at the time when the trial will end. On the other hand, patience helped the brothers to deal with trials, focusing on what they could do and on Jehovah's help.
So this is that dangerous type of patience. This is the patience where it's on the border of insanity, where you're just waiting for some supernatural thing to happen that's been promised to you, and you were duped. You got conned. Someone lied to you and you believed it, and you got to accept it, take the L, and try and start over. But with these poor people, they just keep on believing the next group of guys that lies to them. And it's so sad, knowing everything they endured for this organization. All of the beatings and all of the nights in prison and never having security. All of those things they endured because someone conned them. And it's absolutely despicable that they're just trying to do it to another generation of people, and the cycle goes on and on and on. And the other aspect of this that is really irritating is it was people in Satan's system that were fighting for change and making changes so that way they, the Jehovah's Witnesses, could now have religious freedom. It wasn't Jehovah that snapped his fingers and magically made the situation better. Your waiting on Jehovah didn't save you from the situation. It was Satan's world that got the job done, that made the changes so that way they can enjoy religious freedom where they're not getting beat up all the time now. It's absolutely despicable how easily Watchtower just misappropriates other people's hard work, other people that laid their life on the line and fought for change. They give no credit to them whatsoever. And it becomes all about, well, look at this thing that Jehovah did. And as we know, Jehovah equals Watchtower, so people equate that with, look what the benefits of being a Jehovah's Witness. Look at what Watchtower does for us. It's absolutely despicable, because instead of just trying to like find examples of when Satan's world did something and then a way to spin it so it seems like you did something, why not just go out and do something? All of the effort and energy that they put forth in lying to people and making it seem like they've done something for change could be spent actually doing that very thing. That is going to do it for today. I probably won't see you tomorrow, but the day next, just so I can try and find a creative intro, because I think you guys like it, and hey, I like it, so even if you guys don't really care that much, it gives me a lot of pleasure and happiness in doing it. Anyway, don't forget to drop a like on this video if you're still around, and subscribe to the channel for future content like this. If you want to see a bonus upload with, or a bonus video with every upload, you can join the Patreon or become a channel member. With all of that being said, stay safe, be kind, and don't forget to smile. And Humor Mike, you better have a good ass day.